What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Blakeway Spirit channel. I'm finally back home. I came home last night from Republic of Korea, South Korea. I don't know which one is the PC way to call it now, but I came back from there. Not the one that has the maniac in the north. I went to the country in the south, and a great time. I put some more pictures up from since the last time. But yeah, I'm jet lagged to shit at the moment. So sorry if I don't look the best, but yeah, I had to get this video out quickly because I came back last night and I got up this morning and I realised, holy shit, Karate Combat 46 is actually tomorrow on a Thursday, not on a Friday or a Saturday. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through basically my predictions for each fight. But before I continue, guys, you know what I'm about to ask. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. At 218 subs by now, if we can get to 300 by the end of June, that would be absolutely fantastic. And let's get straight into it. What I generally think is going to be the fight of the night. I really do think there's one or this or the one after this. But Owen Chalmier against Maximo Nunes. Generally, these two are two of my most favourite fighters in the company, just purely on entertainment. They're both really good. Owen Chalmier, we saw in his last fight against Guillermo Perez, completely, and I mean completely, change his style. He looked a lot more like in like a bladed MVP kind of stance, and it really worked well for him in the first round or so. But then I think, you know, obviously because that style drains so much energy, you've got to be super fit to do that over the whole fight. He kind of, not, I don't want to say abandoned, but I think obviously just the amount of energy that probably took out of him affected him later in the fight. And obviously Perez, with a lot more experience, got away with it. But he's, you know, he would have learned so much from that Guillermo Perez fight. So he's going to be going in there against Maximo Nunes, I think, better than ever. Maximo Nunes, I haven't seen him in a while, but when we have, he's been excellent. And he's definitely, especially after he beat Damian Villa last year, certainly solidified himself as a top contender, potential title challenger one day for Mirzabek Tebuev, who's the current champion. So it's going to be a fantastic fight. Both Nunes obviously being very explosive as well, hits hard for that weight. I generally super hard. Don't be surprised if this, obviously it's not going to be a draw because it doesn't work like that, but definitely don't be surprised if this goes to a fourth round, like how they do if the judges can't pick a winner after 3 and it goes to 4. Really struggling to pick a winner. This is going to be a fantastic fight. Can't wait for that one. So this is the other one that I potentially think could be a fight of the night. It is Bam Morris versus Marcus Perez. Now, Bam Morris was initially meant to fight Roland Dunlop. But I think he's pulled out. Don't know why Roland has pulled out yet, but he's coming in against Marcus Perez. Marcus Perez is he's most recently he's done boxing. He's had a lot of boxing fights the past 18 months, more so than MMA. He had one MMA fight last year also on Gamebred bare knuckle MMA. Against Emiliano Sodi. I watched that fight this morning, and one thing that I think, obviously, first of all, this is both of these guys' first time going in the pit, so it's going to be a completely new experience for both of them. But from watching both guys, like watching what Bam Morris did in the One Warrior series, and watching Marcus Perez's most recent MMA fight, because let's be honest, this is going to be more like MMA, like an MMA fight than a boxing fight. If Bam Morris just rides the Marcus Perez onslaught for the first round, I think he's got this. That, and also if he stays in the middle of the pit, if he controls the center of the pit, because Marcus Perez blew a lot of his energy in the first round, couldn't get Saudi out of there, and then Saudi just grew into it and picked him off. Something that Perez does have, and is one of his best weapons, is his lead right hook from the southpaw stance. And what does Bam Morris do? He's normally unorthodox, and he leaves his lead hand low. So there is definitely an opportunity, if Bam Morris is not careful, even when he thinks he's got Marcus Perez backed up and he's got him hurt, he could also get knocked out by Marcus Perez. But I'm going to go with Bam Morris on this. Much lighter on his feet as well. That's another thing. Marcus Perez, a lot more. I mean, both these guys are pretty big dudes, but Bam Morris is a lot more lighter on his feet than Marcus Perez. And if he just can control him with his long legs of his, Perez out the way and just tee off him. Obviously, let Marcus Perez come forward, blow his load. Don't do anything stupid, and then the second and third takeover. Then I think Bam Morris has got this in the bag. So I'm going to go with Bam Morris. I'm not going to go with a KO thing, but I'm going to go for a convincing points win for Bam Morris in that one. Next, we have Charles Ontiveros versus Brandon Jenkins. Charles Ontiveros, former UFC, or both these guys former UFC fighters. But I'm going to go with Brandon Jenkins. I did a video on him a couple of weeks ago, and man, I think he could be a star. I generally do think that to build for karate combat. He's got a really, really good personality. He looks like he's like one of those ice road truckers from the Midwest or something like that. But he is seriously good. He's fast. He's called the human highlight for a reason. Can do Jorge Masvidal-esque flying knees, kicks, everything. Charles Ontiveros, I can't remember him too much from the UFC. I don't think I was really watching MMA UFC around when he was in his heyday. But he's older than Brandon Jenkins. I'm just going to go with Brandon Jenkins. I think there's a reason they've put him in there with a former UFC fighter, Ontiveros, just to build his record in the pit a bit more. And hopefully they might. I'm sure President Asim and everyone at Karate Combat will be hoping to tie Brandon Jenkins down to an exclusive contract as well, because obviously he still fought for other organisations in between his Karate Combat fight. So yeah, but I'm gonna go with Brandon Jenkins on this one. I'm gonna go for a first or second round knockout, human highlight kind of style, head kick or knee or something like that. But I'm gonna go with Brandon Jenkins. Next, the co-main event of the evening. I think I'm gonna be in the minority in this one. I'm looking at it now. Gabriel Varga is 68% more. So 68% of people have voted for him over Madeira. In the Karate Combat community token thing, like how much tokens they're putting on these guys. I'm a little bit surprised. And I know Madeira's obviously been out for a while, like a long time, and Vargas had a bit more recent experience, but Vargas still hasn't fought in like a year. But I'm gonna go with Andres Madeira. Obviously, he's regarded as one of the greatest combat sports athletes to come out of Venezuela and South America as well. To be fair, but I just think Madeira. He looks so comfortable when the last two fights when he was fighting for Karate Combat. Looked so comfortable as a points fighter. He looked really comfortable in there. So I'm going to go with Andres Madeira. He's faster. Varga, a little bit more like a boxing kind of style, where he comes in with his hands high up, and he tries to lure you into like a phone box fight and try and catch you a hook or something. But he can kick as well, obviously. But I'm going to go with Andres Madeira to dance around the pit. And let Varga follow him a bit like the Pied Piper, let him play his tune. And then we have the main event of the evening, Ross Levine versus Adrian Hadjibiadj. Adrian Hadjibiadj, if you don't know, he absolutely loves karate. Started at a very young age in Albania, then went to America to go and pursue his dream in MMA, and he's fought in Bellator, and he won loads of like regional MMA things out in the States. But he said that to be a karate world champion is something he's always wanted. So he's going to be very motivated. He's going to be very motivated for this. But I just think he's coming up against a brute force in Ross Levine. Far more experienced. Had 5 fights in the pit to Hadjibiadj's 1. And although this is probably going to be the only fight I think in the pit that's going to look like a Shotokan or whatever points fight, in that both these guys fight that way, I think Ross Levine's got this in the bag. That Alvi fight, I think he would have learnt loads from. A bit like how Chelmier, I think, learned from Perez, an experienced MMA fighter. I think Levine's same thing, would have learned a lot from fighting Alvi in January. Not in January. Was it January? Yeah, it was. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting my dates mixed up. But yeah. So I think it is going to be Ross Levine, and I think it might get a bit ugly for Hadja Biaj, only because what is Ross Levine's? Excuse my dog. Go on, Dobby. Go. Only for. Sorry about that. Only what is Ross Levine's biggest weapon? His left hook. Brutal knockout over Igor de Castaneda. That's his best power shot. What does Hadjibiedge do? Or what did Sash Platnikov expose in that fight? Even though he won, Hadjibiedge, what did he expose? Platnikov landed the left hook a couple of times. The only difference between Platnikov and Levine is a far better hooker, hits harder and all that. So I'm going to go for Ross Levine in pretty devastating style, Igor de Castaneda style, to defend his 185 belt. Let me know in the comments down below what you think on all the fights. Who do you think is going to be performance of the night, fight of the night? Do you agree with me? You think it's going to be Chelmier Nunes? Do you think it's going to be another one? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.